All right, so Portland had a huge snowstorm over the last weekend. The most snow I've seen in a long time, and the coldest temperatures. All my bibs froze over. My water pipes froze. I had to thaw them out. We're working in the shop today. It's now 50 degrees. Stuff is just melting like crazy. Yeah, look at that. Crazy. And we're lucky to have power. Most of Portland does not have power, and the roads are still pretty treacherous on the side streets. But weather report aside, we are working on our Ford. This is our old Ford 54 Ford custom line. And this thing actually gave me a little trouble. I was a bit flustered, I would say. So I wasn't getting enough fuel to the carburetor. The float bowl wasn't filling up. I tried an electric fuel pump. Where did that go? Right here. I wired in an electric fuel pump, thinking, oh, the fuel pump's not working good. Still nothing. I was like, what's going on? So I figured it out. And this I haven't dealt with in a long time, but it certainly needed to be dealt with. This tube right here that comes out of the fuel tank was completely solidly, like, just gelled up with fuel, just hard as a rock. I broke a drill bit trying to get a drill bit through this piece. That's how hard it was. So I'd let it soak with carburetor cleaner and used a speedometer cable and finally got it cleaned out. And then tried to clean out the rest of the fuel line. I couldn't. So I ended up replacing the fuel line. So we've got, that's all cleaned out, new rubber line, new filter, which then goes over here to the other side where you can see there's new aluminum line that runs the whole length of the frame, all the way up to the front and to the factory fuel pump and a new filter there. So I'm hoping that we can get fuel to this old girl now and make her run. It would run for just a few minutes and then it would run out of fuel. And even though the tank is supposedly rebuilt and I flushed the tank, I did not anticipate having the line clogged. So you gotta check all your bases. Anyhow, that threw me for a loop. That set me back a few hours because I was like, what is going on? But I guess it keeps me sharp. So we're going to put this thing back down on the ground. I think I got the fuel line in and see if she runs. And hopefully the snow just keeps on melting out there. I like snow, but oh my goodness. We hardly have any plows and we're just not used to it. This is the only snow event that we will get this year, I can almost guarantee it. Back to working on cars. Oh, in there. Gotta fill up this old girl. Okay, so we got the old girl running. Because it was so lack of fuel, in other words, there was no fuel being pumped in the tank, somebody had raised the float level and screwed the mixture screws all the way out, so it was super rich. Probably fouled the plug. It's not running really smooth yet. I did replace the cap and rotor, putting a little transmission fluid in her. I think I'm going to change the oil. The oil looks clean, but it's been sitting for years and it just, the knocking just doesn't sound great. So I'm going to change out the oil and keep tweaking on her, see if we can make her run a little smoother. I don't think the timing is right. The vacuum advance is all the way up against the water neck. I may have to reset the distributor, get the right timing. But she's running, and she's running smooth now. Well, shouldn't say smooth. She's running better now. Let's keep going. It's got a hard knock. Every now and then something goes pow in one of the cylinders. All right, as I thought, even though the oil looked clean in this motor, it doesn't have any viscosity. It just smells like fuel. And that might be why it was knocking. Hope I didn't hurt this thing by running it. Let's put some good oil in it and see if it quiets down. All right, so as I suspected, with the vacuum advance jammed all the way up against the water neck. Somebody has been trying to get some more advance out of it, and it doesn't have enough. And I checked my trusty timing light here. We're at like 5 degrees with the vacuum advance plugged in, or I should say the vacuum hose connected to the vacuum advance. So that means if I unplug the hose, the engine dies because it goes to like -10 or something. So I've got to pull the distributor and set it where it should be. So that's next. The engine still makes a little knocking noise after thickening up the oil and changing it. I've got 1040 in it now. I don't know what else to do, but just keep working on it. Okay, so I've been putting some pretty good effort into this old Ford. When it first came in, if you slammed the door when it was idling in park, it would put itself into reverse and take off across the parking lot. The gear shifter was all messed up. The engine was all messed up. It still has a bit of a knock, but I realized pretty quickly the firing order was out. Somebody had swapped 2 spark plug wires. That made it that kind of a knocking, kind of a bucking noise and popping under acceleration. The carburetor float had to be adjusted. The fuel system was gunked up. It had fouled spark plugs. The list goes on and on. Now we are down to just one thing, an alignment. The wheels are all wonky. The steering wheel is straight and the wheels are bent. So once we get that taken care of, I think we can take it for a drive. So let's get it aligned. Okay, so we got our Ford out in the sun. Snow is melting. I think it's time to take this thing for a test drive. It's a really good thing I checked the lug nut torque, because all the wheels would have fallen off on our test drive. This car really needs a good shakedown, and you may be in for the treat of your life to see some shenanigans. I'm not sure. It's running much better. It still has a knock in the engine that I'm not too happy with, but it is what it is. I've got it running as good as I can. The brakes are in good shape. I aligned it. I got the shifter fixed. I got the engine running good, and I think it's time to take it for a drive. Stella, you want to go for a drive? I think it's okay if you go in this car. Hey, come here. I got a towel in there. Okay, you go sit in the seat. Let's see if we can get this hood shut. It's a little finicky because the hinges are a little wonky, and we'll take it for a quick drive. I don't think it has wipers, heater, or lights. In fact, I'm sure it doesn't, but it should make for a good test drive. Even got the windshield all cleaned off for you guys. We've gently got to push the hood down. The hinges are all wonky. Doesn't fly up on me. Seems like it's pretty well latched. Stella, you got to scoot over. We're going for a drive. Come on. Scoot over there. Okay, we got the gate open. We got clear skies. I hope this thing runs. Oh, it does have light behind this. I thought so. The speedometer has the light behind. Like there's a window up here that lets light. That's kind of cool. I don't think the speedometer works. Let's hope the car works. Okay. So we've got no fan on the radiator. We've got to keep an eye on the temperature. We've got oil pressure, that's OP, and we got good charge. And our shifter is now working the way it should. Reverse, neutral, drive. Oh, we don't have power steering. What a cool car. Look at all the snow out there. Let's make sure we don't get run over by a truck. Stella, what do you think? Can you run over by a truck? Oh. She's spunky. She's got some zip to her. There's a lot of manual steering going on here. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't believe it. It's not going to make this corner. Okay, we're going to have to back up. Wow. I know why suicide knobs were style. Okay. Let's try this again. Sounds good. got plenty of power. The throttle had no adjustment to it. In other words, when you push on the gas pedal, it would only go about a quarter open. Now we've got full throttle. Wave to my neighbor. Oh, there's a weird knock in the engine. What is that? That drives me crazy. A rocker or something. Here we go again. 25-point turn. Oh goodness, a lot of work to drive this thing. Well, if it wasn't for the engine knock, this thing would be a perfect runner. Shift to the second there. Also doesn't have a kickdown for the automatic. I just do not like that knocking noise. But it runs great. Let's see if we can do this without 25-point turn. Drives good. We're gonna put the brake on just in case. Oh, sweet old car. Still, you gonna stay in there or you come out? Let's take a little walk around. It's got some patina. Haven't tried the lights or any of the accessories yet. My main goal was to get it running good, and I think I've accomplished that. Let's listen to the exhaust back here. Sounds really nice. From the back, you can escape the rattle in the engine. What a cool car. Super fun. I think the owner's going to be really happy. Ha! Oh boy.